all actuality, this thing should be making us humble ourselves and making us come together. It's like our walls should actually be disintegrating and coming down instead of us throwing them up. And I mean, look, that's when people feel in danger, there's two things they do: fight and flight. And then there's another one, they play dead. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes playing dead could work, but if it doesn't work, then what? You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to fight because you can't run because you sat there and you allowed the enemy to, keep up around you, so there's nowhere really you can go anyway. But and that's how it is now anyway. That's another thing the Bible says: there's nowhere we can run. There'll be a sword in the field. There'll be a famine in the city. There'll be a trap dug, a deep pit. There'll be a net, out everywhere. And it says eventually that the people who set up the net and dug the pit, they're gonna fall in it themselves. They're gonna be caught in the net themselves. And their swords that they use to slay the innocent, at some point, they might as well just fall on their own freaking sword. Better for them to never, ever even have been born. So be careful that you don't don't let these people emotionally whip you up into a ideological frenzy where, you start to identify with your race group, your class, you know what I'm saying? Your class, middle class Republican. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like this. No one hates you. Well, some people do hate you for your success, but this isn't what I'm saying here. I don't hate anyone. You know what I'm saying? But I can hate some of the things people do and some of the lies they promote. And I can hate the devil that tricks us into feeling we're doing something for the good, but in all actuality, we're playing right into the devil's hands. And this is one of the ways you can kind of see this, is like they try to they're trying to get us to self-impose a quarantine and self-impose a segregation. And it already works. Our society is so segregated. And in these days, with all these fearful sites and all these wars and rumors of wars, it does make you kind of want to quarantine yourself and isolate yourself and alienate yourself and put up these big freaking imaginary walls where your mind is your own fucking prison. And like this one guy I listened to on the internet, he says the best antidote for fear is to learn the things that you need to know. Learn about the true things. That's the perfect antidote for fear, is to learn. Because actually people fear what they don't understand. And it's like there's a good kind of fear, there's a healthy kind of fear, and there's a very unhealthy, destructive sort of fear. And I think these guys make money off of selling that fear sometimes. And maybe they do it knowingly, and maybe the devil makes them think that they're doing the right freaking thing. And there are cases of people who did do the lone wolf bunker type mentality, and they did survive for a while. But look, they survived. If you're alone with people, isolated for too much time, they get psychotic, and they get they get so stressed out that they start to imagine everyone's trying to kill them, and they end up killing each other. And then even if you did survive, your mind would be fractured and shattered, like the guys who came back from the Philadelphia experiment. Their minds were just gone because it was like their concept of time and reality and space and time was totally destroyed and shattered. Like their body was here, but their mind was still in like two dimensions at once. Same thing with someone who is going to have survivor's PTSD, survivor's guilt, a bunch of these type of things, same thing there, man. So I think it's like I'm wondering if these people, how many of them are setting us up for failure. And I mean, because here's the thing, none of us have actually lived through this, okay? It's all speculation. We can listen to other guys, experts, so-called experts on the field. But it's just like, listen, how do you know who's a false prophet, a false preacher? It's like, listen, if there's no money involved, 9 times out of 10, that's not the wolf in sheep's clothing. Because the wolf in sheep's clothing wants to devour your flock. It wants to devour things. It wants material gains. You know what I'm saying? So if you do this for free, it's like, why are you doing this then? You're putting yourself in danger for what? Well, that's what you call a selfless act, in a way. Or at least you're thinking greater than just your freaking self. You're coming out of your box. When these people are trying to get you into this fucking Cold War paranoia type of, they literally want you to, like, look, build a bunker, and this bunker becomes your fucking coffin, your survival coffin. Not to say you shouldn't do these type of things, but I'm saying if you go into it with the wrong heart and the wrong mindset, the very thing that you think's going to save you will destroy you. And I mean, same thing with this truthing, this looking for information, studying the conspiracy, trying to be a voice of reason and of. It's like you give a warning before you sound the horn before the enemy falls on us. Like when you see the dust clouds coming in down the way, that's when you blow the horn. You don't blow the horn when they're already falling upon the enemy's already falling upon, the sleeping masses. You want to do it beforehand and give people a chance to rally or run or whatever, make a good stand. So look, prepping is good. Is very good thing. You should be doing preps. Like I said, most of my preps are in here and in here, which means it's like you need survival tactics, tricks. Like, listen, do I have to really set up a bow, string, fire, starter thing? I can't carry all that stuff with me. I don't need to. It's in here. It's in my bug out bag. My bug out bag is in here, as well as my actual bug out bag with stuff in it. You know what I'm saying? Or you can have caches. You need caches. That would probably be the best thing to do is leave. The Indians, they couldn't live in one place. They had to seasonally move from camp to camp to camp. And so you don't never when you have a permanent place, the chances are is that you can overtax the environment and use up all the resources. But when you go from place to place to place, the environment has a chance to heal from you, and your family and your people that have to, you know what I'm saying? Look, holy crap. A bunch of seagulls out here again. See, man, that is freaking crazy. Yeah,